What's up, guys? Thanks for watching another Jags United film breakdown. I'm super excited. We're getting started with Alabama left tackle Evan Neal. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you get all the notifications for when we preview all the film breakdowns for all the other top prospects. Make sure to follow the Instagram and the Twitter, all that fun stuff. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Before we jump into the film, just a couple of things to note about Evan Neal. At 6'7", 360, instantly becomes one of the biggest offensive linemen in the NFL. I mean, Trent Williams size instantly at the day that he's drafted. First team All-American by a lot of people, including Sporting News and a bunch of people that are really reputable. Very impressive how he moved from right tackle to left tackle in Alabama's offense. That's moved the ball really well this year. I mean, their quarterback won the Heisman. He has a rare combination of size, power, and athleticism. He's one of the best tackles I've seen come out in a while. I think that's why he'll be close to a #1 pick. His slide step. I mean, one of the best slide steps I've seen. Mekhi Becton has a great slide step. I mean, I'd be comparable to me, and Mekhi Becton plays great in space. His best game film was against Tennessee and the 2 games against Georgia. So if you want to go back and watch, those are the games that I think he was just super solid all around. Very reliable, every single play, super consistent, doesn't give up pressures, doesn't give up sacks. Just overall, I mean, you could see Bryce Young relied on him whenever he had to back out of pressure or scramble. He kind of would do blind turns to Evan Neal's side because he knew that he was being protected there. His strength to me is in pass protection based off the film. His down blocking on run plays could use some work, but everyone's going to need a little work coming into the NFL. He rarely takes false steps, which is very impressive to me as for an offensive lineman. A great pull step for a guy of his size. Plays well in his bubble. Never seems to have to use leverage because he's so big and strong, get his hands on you. Just overall great prospect. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at the film. Like I said, Evan Neal's strongest part of his game to me is honestly how he plays in pass protection. For someone his size, his ability to kick step out of his stance and to catch edge rushers is pretty remarkable if you ask me. He had a great game against Tennessee. I think Tennessee was his best game film. If you want to go back and watch him, watch his Tennessee film here. I mean, Alabama passed the ball a lot, and you're going to see him in pass protection here. And when you're pass protecting on the edge here as a left tackle, and you got to seal the edge, I mean, you got to be careful of an edge rush speed, a bull rush, a stunt. I mean, there's a lot going on at one time that he has to kind of work together with his guard and kind of have to be able to do. And that's why a lot of people wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make the transition over from right tackle to left tackle. But he did it pretty well here. And you're going to see here the edge rusher's just going to try to beat him head on, I guess. And he's just going to eat him up. I mean, the end stands no chance. As soon as the end gets over to his gap, I mean, he's great. I mean, he plays so well in his bubble. The space between him and the lineman, he plays so well there. I mean, so often I saw players just give up against Evan Neal. I mean, he kind of looks like 97 just realizes that has no chance at the quarterback here and just gives up mid-play. I've seen that happen with Evan Neal more than probably any other player tackle I've watched on film. I mean, look when Evan Neal gets his hands on him. I mean, he has such an aggressive punch. As soon as his hands get on him there, it's game over. He's not getting off. He's not getting around. I know there's an adjustment to the NFL. They're bigger, stronger, faster. But you like your tackles to be able to do it on your level like this. And one more thing I want to add here, and I saw this over and over again watching the film, is Bryce Young instinctively knew that he was always protected here. Watch him here. He senses pressure to his right, instinctively just kind of backpedals. I mean, he knows that he's got protection there that allows him to make that move, that false move to the outside and to throw off the defensive lineman and get to the outside and run for a quarterback scramble. He's going to end up picking up first down here. And really, that all happened because Evan Neal was able to just completely dominate his end. Because of that, that allowed Young just to do more. It's the type of things that can happen if you have an athletic quarterback or even a quarterback can create time with his feet. I mean, it's something that you want to see. So, I mean, Evan Neal, pass protection, definitely one of the strongest parts of his game for sure. I just can't get enough of Evan Neal and pass protection. I really can't. In the Auburn game, I thought he played great against Auburn. Don't think he gave up any pressures, any sacks in this game. And just his ability to kick and reach step here, you're going to see it on display. So here again on the tackle, and this looks like a fan block call from the offensive line, but I don't really know. I'm not in the huddle. But here you're going to see just the edge rusher jump out here, try to win with speed. And he's a quicker dude. I mean, smaller, he's quicker. And watch Evan Neal's ability to kick out, find him in space, cut him off, and get his hands on him. I mean, once he gets his hands on him, there is just no letting go. he's going to get his hands on him. And in a very rare occurrence, you're going to see him pancake a player on a pass block. How often do you see that? Now, not a great result for Alabama. The interior offensive line kind of fell apart. But his ability to get his hands on this guy, and it's just like you're not getting off of him. And just another situation of just dominating the end rusher. And again, I mean, these are plays that really stand out. But Evan Neal does this consistently every single play. He gets his hands on you, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, it's unfortunate the rest of the line collapsed, but Evan Neal would just really solidified himself on this left side of the tackle. And I mean, I just like his ability to finish blocks, too. That's something that's really valuable in offensive linemen and coaches love. Probably one of the reasons why he's shooting up the draft boards and maybe the #1 pick overall, just because of his ability to finish blocks. So if he can translate this pass protection to the next level, no doubt in my mind that Evan Neal will be one of the premier tackles in the league. I mean, based off his size alone, you're looking at very few tackles that have his size at 6'7", 360. I mean, that's very, very rare. That's Trent Brown's size there. So if he can continue to do this, I mean, he'll make a name for himself in the NFL easy. So this is my favorite Evan Neal play, hands down, out of all of them. There's so many things here that I just love about his game that he exhibits. Probably one of the reasons why he will be a top 3 pick in this draft is because of probably this play right here. This play speaks volumes to me what type of player he is. So here at left tackle spot, he's going to have a challenge here. He's going to have an edge rusher outside 3-4 backer who's going to engage and then drop off, and then he's going to have a stunting end that's going to come out and take a really wide angle. So this creates a lot of problems for tackles because they have to be able to recognize the stunt, pass it off, and then kick out and get to the outside rusher. And watch how Evan Neal handles this. I mean, it really is one of the strongest parts of his game is him recognizing stunts here. He's going to pass off the first one, immediately get his eyes on 50, get enough of him for him to make a play, and allow Young to get upfield. Now, this play has a great ending to it, which we're going to see, but let's look at this again. Passes it off, gets enough of 50, pretty much blocking 2 players on one play, and then here, a lot of guys give up. A lot of guys that are this big give up on the play here. Not my boy Evan Neal. He's going to follow his quarterback down the field. He's going to be there, and he's going to be ready to go. Now, here's my favorite thing about Evan Neal, and this is what I respect about players more than anything. We're going to see a little rivalry scuffle here on the sidelines between Alabama and Auburn. And look who is getting his quarterback out of danger. Watch this. Not only does he get his quarterback out of danger, squares up on the hole. Look, bro, if you're going to get to my quarterback, you got to – this is a grizzly bear defending his team right here. When you're the biggest man on the field, this is the type of stuff you can pull off. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want as a left tackle. If I'm an NFL team and I see this clip right here, this might be enough to put me over the edge. Like if I'm on the fence about drafting this guy, I mean, this might be it. I mean, I want a guy that does this, that takes no crap, can follow his quarterback down the field, does not care. I mean, just will fight the whole team if he has to. Just beautiful effort, beautiful play. Just overall, one of my favorite reasons. I mean, you're going to see here a reverse angle here, right? So, I mean, he not only gets a piece of the outside backer, then he's going to pass him off. I mean, this is such a wide angle by this end. I mean, this is almost a useless angle. If the guard would have done even half of a job here, there should have been no issue. Young makes a great athletic play. That's why he's a Heisman. And then Evan Neal coming down the field and following his boy. I mean, you love to see it. I just can't get over how much I love Evan Neal. I mean, I really do. I mean, he's one of my favorite offensive lineman prospects I've seen in a while, and definitely a guy that I think is going to be a very early pick, if not the first pick. I mean, you see things like this, you can't help but love him. I mean, the guy you want. It's so hard to find offensive linemen that are good. I mean, that's one of the reasons why good teams have good offensive linemen is because they're so hard to find. There's usually an adjustment curve for rookie offensive tackles, but I could see Evan Neal kind of curbing that, pretty easily. So hope the best for him. Gonna make some team very, very happy based on this film. It wouldn't be a film breakdown of offensive linemen if we didn't at least throw in some run blocking there. Now, I did talk about maybe his weaknesses were on his down blocks and his reach blocks at the line of scrimmage. But, I mean, I think that's something that he can fix. And a lot of it was just because of how big he is and how small some of these D linemen are. They can shoot to the gaps pretty quick. And then he's not going to see that discrepancy of size and speed in the NFL. But on this play, you're going to definitely see his ability to kick out block, which is very important in the NFL to be able to play in space here. So, I mean, you're going to see him here. He is going to have a tight end here on the outside. But you're going to, running on a kick out block to the boundary is not something I would recommend if I were calling plays, but Alabama makes it work. And Bill O'Brien had actually a pretty good offensive game plan after going through all of this. And you're going to see him get outside and using his lateral quickness, where that's where some people say is his weaknesses, but I disagree, and I think you could see from this play. So here at the snap, they're going to put a guy in motion, and instantly he's going to kick out. He's going to get into space. He's going to find his guy. The defender actually does a good job of keeping the play inside of him. I mean, that's the best you can do against Evan Neal. But really what I like to see is a lot of people like hate on him for his lateral quickness, but when you're an offensive lineman, even when you're moving laterally, you have to be able to take short, choppy steps. And that's what he does here. Stays low, keeps good leverage, seals off his guy. I mean, really, he does his job here. I mean, the play design, not great, again, running to the boundary. Tight end misses his block responsibility altogether, but you can see the athleticism that he has. For a guy, again, that's his size. I mean, you don't see guys that are that big and that athletic and move that well very often. So something he's going to have to be able to do is, I mean, the NFL game is moving laterally, and there's teams that really try to get to the sideline with their running game. You look at some of the top teams that are up there. I mean, you got to imagine the Jaguars with Travis Etienne are just going to want to try to get to the edge. And you have to be able to do kick-out blocks like this. And for someone that I have been a little harsh on in the past about his run blocking, it's good to see him like really do it when it matters. I love it. Love how he stays low. Love how he drives his defender. Overall, had a pretty good, decent film against Georgia, splitting the series 1-1 on the season. But, I mean, Evan Neal, probably one of the top players in that series for Alabama, and not his fault that they lost the national championship game. That's for sure. Another thing I just love about Evan Neal is how strong his punch is. I mean, the last thing you can talk about with a guy that's 6'7", 360 is his punch. And, I mean, the guy has shown that he can dominate defenders with one hand. Now, he gets called for a holding here, which I think is pretty bogus. But I have two examples here of just how strong he is with one hand. So we take a look at him here at the tackle spot here. He's going to just completely obliterate this Auburn Auburn defensive back. And look, puts his hands up. He didn't block. Like, come on. Like, just a great play. I mean, that's just what I love about Evan Neal, is just how strong he is. Just kills him with one. I mean, his right hand moving the opposite direction. It might have been a little bit of a flop job, but again, these are just the little nuances. When you have a guy that's as fundamental as Evan Neal is, you have to look for these little nuances to just point out, because it's just those are the things that make him spectacular. We're going to see another play here where he does the same thing. I mean, this play, he's just grown man's him. I mean, watch our boy here, and then this Tennessee edge rusher had a tough day against. I mean, Evan Neal just put him in his place right here. This was pretty good. I mean, Neal's just going to show you how strong he is. I mean, a two-handed punch that just knocks the end out of the play, like just completely knocks him out of the play. Like, just completely off. Like, again, who needs leverage when you have the ability to just literally punch a dude off balance? I mean, just sends him. I mean, I don't know if he hit him in the neck or, I don't know what happened here, but like, he obviously did enough damage with that punch there to just completely derail any plan this end had to get to the quarterback. Overall, I give Evan Neal a grade of probably a top 3 pick. I mean, just teams need left tackles. I mean, it's so hard to get offensive linemen nowadays, like I was talking about. And if you find a good one, you got to take them. I mean, I can see teams like the Jags, the Texans, the Panthers, all kind of jockeying for that pick. And I mean, they have people on their roster who they've invested in for the future. But I think that you can move him around and you can kind of create space for a guy of his caliber. If he does fall, the Giants, the Commanders, the Browns, one of those teams I could see scooping him up. But again, one of the best tackle prospects I've watched film on in a while, and just based off pure consistency. So someone's going to have them a franchise left tackle for 10 years. And the size alone, like at 6'7", 360, I mean, that's just super rare. And his athleticism and footwork, I think it's just a great package and overall total player. And someone's going to be very, very happy with Evan Neal. Very impressed with his film. There's a reason why he was, finalist for all of the trophies and first team All-American and all of that stuff. So I'm super excited to see what happens with him in the NFL. I'd be one of the safer guys I would bet is going to have a good career in the NFL. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get notification when we do the next prospect. We'll probably break down the edge rushers here next, so that should be super exciting. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.